Hello everyone, welcome back to Twin Flame Era. This is our third video.
We haven't made one in a while.
It's been a long while for us, and maybe not so long if you're watching our videos sequentially. Um, I guess there's probably a lot we could address, and I just now wanted to do a video. So I called Irene over, or I said we should do a video.
Because we've been going through a particularly powerful growth period. The dawn of this last full moon.
hmm Yeah, the last 2 days have been, replete with a really intense sharing and explosive sense of betrayal and letdown and all the, ping ponging that can happen with twin flames, where one person's sort of closed off heart has a responsive reaction where the other has a closed off heart, and you get into that sort of really quick, terrible cycle that is great because it opens up all the resentments, all the fears, all the past traumas, and the purifying is super fast. But you see your twin as the enemy in that space, and it's horrible because
Horrible.
you don't.
See that we're
Yeah,
mirroring.
you're mirroring, and it's
Mm.
we're still in that phase, and it's been 9 months, and I would say that my assessment is now that it's such a weird word because it sounds like an ego could grasp this, but ego is part of being in this form and speaking, so it's part of it anyway. But I would say that our powers, that is the conjuring, the many different things that are happening, are stronger than ever. The ignorance has lessened, but new levels of ignorance are exposed all the time, and strangely, it's all happening. So a continuation of the path goes, and it's more acceptance,
Humility.
and yeah,
That's been like the big lesson
mhm.
um, in this last round of incredibly pain-filled nights and days of eruption that has really gotten us deep into the core of seeing, like revealing um, our habits and a really super fast processual, so fast, so rapid process based uh, viewing of the kind of work that we're doing together. And, liberating the heart has been the first thing for us to do because we realized that in purifying and really purging and going through all the shadow, all of the long formed habits that we've picked up along the way through eons and eons of ignorance and cyclical movement through the same patterns or of revealing this pattern.
And it's also patterns. I would offer, and I don't have the final word on this, about that, those patterns and habituation of our karma, or whatever word you want. I like Mel on the Golden Twin Flames, who doesn't believe, at least in one of his videos, didn't believe karma
He
existed
doesn't
on Earth.
believe karma.
Whatever you want to call it, the quality of mind stream that is the uh, singular mind stream that has its own accumulated quality that's then being purged in any lifetime and in the other spaces beyond this realm and this three-dimensional dense reality. That continued work, and I was going to say, I don't know if it's burning off the previous habituations and ignorances and qualities. Rather, it's especially true that this life, my early life's patterning and pains, and I believe your early life's patterning and pains, etc., those things have to go for us to be able to even do this work. And so it's like rapid fire
Purification.
purification where all my lying, all of my self
Pretending.
deception that I was getting away with in ignorance too. Some of the stuff, I went through therapy for a long time, did all types of spiritual pursuits and all types of ritual and all types of deep probing. It doesn't matter when you get to this kind of union. It's a lightning bolt as the heart chakra opens, where it can't remain in conversation open when there's lie. And lie is the darkness that is the human
Keeps us in
condition.
secret.
The secret. And so there's no secrets, and then there's literally no secrets. And if any of
Because
you.
we're mirror-like wisdom.
Yeah, and that mirror wisdom, when we bust open those spaces with basically declarations of our truth, and you can't patronize truth. It has to be said for real. There's no sugarcoating. There's no normal previous template relationship language that is applicable here. We try our best. I keep trying to look at this from codependent habituation or new age language. Nothing works except reality, and I have to go through, and I think Irene's went through.
In our experience of a particular reality which we're having, which unfortunately
This one
is very
unsparing.
difficult to relate with because
new template. There's no template for this.
And it's also very, very painful.
But the pain we noticed today, we were in the subway station, and we kind of came out of a bunch of these betrayal fights. The ones that can lead you to want to leave, want to flee, both want to run, fed up, feel betrayed, hurt, and abused. But I've noticed recently during the midst of the depths of these that I don't even believe it anymore. And what's bugging me is terrible. Maybe some of you guys can relate. You're in this phase, or you've been in this phase before, earlier, or you haven't got to it yet. Is I'm realizing during the conflicts, I have an awareness, a witness mind that I'm like, oh man, this shit is not. I have to weather this. I have to sit here and watch myself painfully grow in quick time, in fast time. And it's like nothing ever before. It's not.
Because we're able to watch.
You have to watch. You have to watch it happen.
Strangely, even being in the midst of an emotional whirlwind, there is an ability for us to somehow balance as the other is going through.
Well, the work is
a very
big enough.
fast dance. So
the work is so important, and I think there's an awareness of that.
But there is like a balance, isn't there? Like where one becomes a grounding rod for the other, and then
and the other takes a turn. Yeah,
and
that's always going on.
And actually, like that has been what has really kept us together.
Yeah, one is able to ground and find that space, and even if we're overwhelmed ourselves, and that's when it gets really bad, is when both are overwhelmed, when both of us have had enough, and we still have to frazzled nerves head through it. So let's just to summarize, I think we just did summarize. That's been our recent experiences in the twin flame, in our personal experience, which is our videos are based around, and that's what we're offering.
And we wanted to share this particular time because we've noticed that cycles of our quickened purging have occurred during these lunar cycles, and certainly my menstrual cycle follows the moon quite follows the moon, and so I mean at once there's an explanation of like hormonal PMS, But the other is also that we're really syncing up and really feeling and seeing the pattern of using cosmic energy.
And there's cosmic downloads that come in these times in mandala, visualized, symbolic representative moments in dream, or when we're speaking, we can co-create an idea
And,
with perfect symmetry, and then
and
those are those,
manifestation.
yeah, and exactly, and decide on ethereal realms how we want to present and be living. So other realms where other realities of us, other us's are existing, we can speak and co-create and have conversation with those frequencies, and also just business, life, and all this power. I was going to say earlier is I think I'm coming to a place where using any of this energy for anything other than healing and information to others in this template, and others period, other human beings especially, is going to become more problematic at some point. I don't think we're going to be able to use this power for our creative pursuits, etc., for too long. So at some point it'll be just about service, and I know that people like Mel, etc., who I like, would say that that's the only purpose and has to happen now. But I think that's our own journey, is to learn. We're learning this in real time. So.
And I would like to add to that in when the experience is so fueled, when it's so frenzied, and when it's so painful. Um, there is an activity of being able to still be compassionate, and being able to use the suffering to relieve the suffering of others. And certainly, like what I've been learning and what we've both been doing has been like really clearing so much ancestral pain.
Yeah, that's been a big part of
It's been a huge
the last
part
bunch of months.
in our purging, where we surrender and really become honest, and it creates like a pattern of emotional and psychological and psychospiritual triggers that have us go into spaces that are very painful. We've been able to use that suffering to feel it now, so that what had been felt in our ancestral line can be relieved. And there's a lot of empathy, of course, and knowledge that can arrive through that activity of compassion. And never before has that become so prolonged and prominent since we started really using um, all of the experiences that we have together in ecstasy and in pain, and really learning so much about how to heal all the way through um, our our DNA.
Our DNA, our soul groups,
However you want to call it.
all those
But
groupings and all
but
that
like, yeah,
intermeshing.
like, certainly, like in like working with the body, and then the experience of holding like a or experiencing like a pain, um, kind of collapsing the time space concept, and send and holding it for all sentient beings in within our bodies, and having that all ripple out through, has really been instrumental in opening up huge spaces and clearing huge spaces. And then we found that when we do that, things immediately manifest. um,
Mm.
Powerful things tend to arrive at the immediate
Yeah,
heels of that kind of.
it's true. Right at the end of any one of and I don't know where things begin or end, but there are blooms of healing and pain and healing, and like you're saying, like this soul retrieval, time retrieval, group retrieval, and DNA purifying, and whatever, all the levels, lattice of reality, all the way up and down, happening at once from all the realms and all of our and our own psyche in this time and space. Yeah, at the end of a burst or a bloom of that, some good news tends to come to us and energize us, and it then it does its dance, and it's not permanent either. Nothing
No,
in this
nothing.
is, but that certainly feels interesting to see that happen. But we should wrap up in a minute, because it's like long. It's like if any of you have stuck with this, um, then hopefully our language resonates with some of you, and like I've learned that this whole year is just me blowing open the heart chakra and my heart. It's there. The rest is like I use my layers of mind, different types of mind, to like synthesize and understand this stuff. And Irene had more experience with both those things, more language for this, more heart opening. And in any event, while we're trading, we're actually equal in all the trading of wisdoms and energies. But I still think she has more sometimes. Anyway, we're doing that thing. But
We're having the dance.
a dance. But the heart, I just want to remind people that if you're out there in pain, sit with the heart open, and that's it, even if it is painful. But closing it in the name of reason. You're in an unreasonable dance. You're walking into the chaos of eternity, which is spirit realm, which our regular linear human mind can't speak to. So allow the dance to happen, allow the heart to do its thing, and it will return healed and powerful each time. It's just going through, breaking through old patterns of human process, and you'll be okay. Don't run from each other. Maybe take a minute and breathe. I don't know. I don't have the big advice. I don't think we're at that level where we can give that advice yet. But we do our
No.
best, which is which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, so be well out there. We'll have another video soon. Bye. Thanks.